Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and I am here with TGIF. Kimmi and Maurice was on Fox Soul, and baby, they got into it. So let's get into it. So Funky I Need was like, let's just get this fluff on out of the way. Like, how did y'all meet? How did y'all fall in love? She said that they were introduced. She said she was looking to get into real estate, and at the time, Maurice was flipping houses. So they had conversations, they had dinner, and the rest is history. Then Funky Dineva said, with that lady's husband. Then he went on to ask her like about her diagnosis. And Kimmi said that she did want to share it on her platform on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She said, but Maurice kind of convinced her to do it. And she realized she could help more by sharing her story than not. And she was 100% correct. Because I think so many more women actually got breast exams after Kimmi's situation happened. And that is a blessing. So like Funky said, we got all the warm and fuzzies out of the way. Then he asked her to respond to a post. A sad case of a man. Love and Marriage Huntsville fans slam Maurice for demanding intimacy while Kimmi goes through chemotherapy. Let's get into the defending. Let's go. So Kimmi said that she had not seen the show. She just got the nuts and bolts from Maurice. So clearly, Maurice did not tell her what he said on the show. Because I think if he had said, oh, I told Carlos that you are admirable for rolling over and suffering through Bang Bang with me. No, he did not tell Kimmi that. So she said as she went on, she saw people making posts and things like that. So she's like, what did you say? And then she watched it. Then she said that was absolutely wrong for him to do. He was wrong for the things he had said. And I was with Kimmi up until that point. So then Kimmi does what Maurice does, puts it on Kimmi, right? She said that she had the conversation with him about their intimate life before they got married. And she did not want him to go longer than 7 days without it. But that's before you got a diagnosis, right? Getting the diagnosis and losing your libido, this is when the vows come into place through sickness and through health. So Kimmi went on to say that it's her choice to be with him. He doesn't force her to do anything. But he had a bad choice of words. And she referenced him saying, like, bend over and take it. She was like, that's not cool. And the look he gave her was like, come on, babe. That's just how we talk. Because that's how he is. You know what I'm saying? So Claudia asked her, like, did she feel threatened? Like she would lose her marriage? And she also asked him, did he regret what he said or does he stand on it? So I'm going to go on to part 2 and answer those questions. I'll be right back. Bye. Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Millie Chun, and here's part 2 of TGIF with Kimmi Scott and Maurice Scott. So Kimmi said, like I said earlier, that she said she'd never make him go 7 days without intimacy, right? And she also said that it doesn't hurt her. She just doesn't have that feeling in the beginning, and she doesn't have that feeling at the end, right? But she wants to do that for him. She never said, well, she did say that it's fulfilling for both of us. But like I said, the vows come into place through sickness and in health. Like, what if something had happened to Kimmi and she could not do anything? What is Maurice going to do then? Are the vows still going to work? Then Funky Dineva asked Maurice, like, did you feel selfish asking her to roll over and suffer through it? He said he stood on his words. He said, but what he did not know is he didn't know she was hurting. He had no knowledge of her hurting. He had no knowledge of her not wanting to go through it. But my whole thing is, how could you not? If you're with this person and you know what they're going through, you know it does something to their body. Like, how could you not know? And then he was like, we didn't do things on days she felt bad unless I didn't know. Maurice is the worst. Then what did Maurice do? Put it back on Kimmi for letting the world know that she fakes it. Just like when they were in the car and she was like, babe, I don't do it for me. Like, I don't have those feelings. I do it for you. Out of that conversation, he got, she's faking it. That's what he got out of his wife who's going through chemo, poisoning her body. She's doing this act for him, and all he gets is that she's faking it. I cannot with Maurice Scott. But the whole time he's talking about her faking it, if you watch this, Kimmi looks everywhere except for the camera. She looks down a lot. You can see her kind of jerking a little bit. She's very uncomfortable. I don't know if she's mad or embarrassed or both, but I don't like it. Claudia asked Maurice would he change his wording, how he worded things on the Carlos interview. He said yes, because Kimmi felt unprotected. He's not I said what I said person. Funky Dineva, that came from Nene, not Candy, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Let me say this. Al is the peacemaker of this group right here. He tried to break it up and ask about the co-parenting. We got the same answer that we always get. Kimmi is raising monster. But Funky didn't even notice what I noticed, and everybody else that watched it noticed. Kimmi seemed very uncomfortable, and she told him she wasn't uncomfortable. She's just thinking about the answers that Maurice is giving, and they could be better. So Claudia came in and took it to the end zone. She was like, Maurice, you don't have to be inside of your wife to know how she feels. You can look at her and tell how she feels. I really hope Kimmi listened to everything Claudia said. Bye, y'all.